Hello, everyone. This is Troy from Returning Client here. I want to talk about LinkedIn multi-touch point campaigns. This is where you are sending out different messages in order to connect and communicate with individuals over a course of time. We also talk about posting in mail, your current campaign, your current members, and your entire network, and how to reach those. I've actually developed four different documents for that. So this is going to be a four-part series, and I'll go through it quickly. The first one we're going to talk about today is initial LinkedIn campaign. This is where your second level individuals, you try to get to your first level inside of your main network, and have conversations throughout a period of time in order to understand that potential network individual more, or customer, or however you want to do that. The other one is your existing your existing LinkedIn people. This is your entire first level connections. The third part that we're going to talk about on a different video is the in-mail campaigns. How can you create campaigns using in-mail? In-mail is also very important. And the fourth one, instead of going just for reaching out to individuals, you tend to want to put material out there on your posts, on your landing post page, as well as your company page, and as well as some of your groups. This shows activity. People that see you quite often and they like the material or what you're presenting or what you're showing, they tend to want to connect with you more. So it's a very good positive snowball effect for all your other campaigns in order to boost those up. Okay, so today we're talking about your LinkedIn, your second level to first level campaign. Basically, what you end up wanting to do is you want to run your searches via, well, however you want to do it, but I use Sales Navigator as a paid service through LinkedIn in order to connect with people. And so I create certain searches based on what I want to do for business or networking or whatever. And so there are a series of different messages that go along, and and again, this is just a suggestion. This is what I do. My formula changes every 3 or 4 months, depending on trends, what works, what doesn't, what may work at one point may not work at another, depending on, how people feel about, what things are happening. All right. So the general premise is I want to connect with individuals. I have two different connection styles. One is going out and reaching out to individuals that I want to connect on my Sales Navigator, so I can identify, oh, this person would be a good person to connect with because of A, B, and C. The other one is connect from profile view. Well, if they look at your profile, you can kind of see that they looked at your profile, and you can go back and you can send them a connection request. Do not send more than 75 a day maximum. Some people send 200, 300, 400. You'll get a lot of people. There's a higher chance of people clicking that they don't know you. LinkedIn will see the traffic, the amount of requests going out, and they'll slow you down in all sorts of ways. And if enough people say they don't know you, they'll put you in what we call LinkedIn jail for a while, and it would just kind of slow things down. So you kind of want to avoid those, use best practices. All right, so once you connect with individual, you'll get a message saying, hey, you're now connected. You tend to want to say thanks for connecting message. And what this does, it basically just reaches out. Reaches out to that individual, responds to that individual saying, hey, I appreciate you connecting with me, and I would like you, this is what I do. I know you're ABC. If you see any synergies, let's go ahead and have a conversation or whatever. And if there's anything I do for you, that sort of thing. Very, very friendly, very, very short. It's a message. It's not an email. So you tend to want to have, 1 or 2 paragraphs at most, or something along those lines. You have 2 follow-ups. Some people just do 1 follow-up, but the follow-up tends to be about 2 to 3 days or 4 to 7 days after the first message. And this is usually when I provide a few links. I said, hey, I'm just following up the last message. Here are a few links that you might find interesting that I was talking about. And the third follow-up is usually saying something along the lines of, hey, I've tried a few times reaching out to you. I won't bother anymore, but just in case, here's my info if you want to talk. Have a great day. You know, some people don't do that. Some people do. Another technique is to actually send an email after a certain point. So after the end of the month, if those people have not responded, I tend to potentially send an email in a three cadence. So you have pretty much a three cadence here, and then you pretty much have a three cadence here. And if they're not looking at their messenger, then it's okay, because some people just don't use LinkedIn Messenger. They actually just use email. They'll see those messages come in, they remember connecting with you, but they just don't read those type of things. And so email has a higher conversion rate for those individuals. Typical cold email 10% open rate. This has a 40 to 80% open rate. It's usually higher, closer to the 80%. People say you need a lot of touch points. I don't do more than 3 because they've already connected with you. They already know that. And of course, the first 2 are a very similar pattern. The third one is, hey, I'll go ahead and back off, but I appreciate it if I was wrong. Definitely connect with me and love to talk to you, whatever. If they respond to you, and if you have some kind of email drip system or whatever, make sure that if they respond to you, the system stops. Make sure you have some kind of unsubscribe if you're using one of those systems. The email comes from the person's profile. If you got Sales Navigator, you can open up their information and you can email them. I don't feel bad about emailing people because you connected with me, you give me your information. So if you're going to be upset for me contacting you after connecting with you, well, it's like going to a network event and handing them a card and saying, "Oh, here's my card, here's all my information, but don't contact me." It's a little silly. Anyway, these are random touch points. Once you connect, maybe 90 days, and then you can do quarterly after that. These are little messages get sent out to those individuals. Things like, "Hey, got something new. Hey, just wanted to check in. This is what we have going on. How are you doing?" type stuff. All right. So this is kind of a very important, way of actually thinking about connecting with people. We're not harassing them. We're creating messages that actually offer value to individuals, and you're actually communicating with with all these individuals that you've connected with. All right. Hopefully, you like this little conversational campaigns, and we have part 2, 3, and 4 after that. So have a nice day.